maintaining an effective organizational culture. We have also completed emphasis ethical practical. Now, the next one we will going to start. That is entrepreneur. Oh, okay. We have also started the entrepreneurships, organizational issues of implementations. The next one, the newer metrics. Okay, network structure. Okay, today we're going to start the implementing the business level strategy. That is unit 8. Implementing business level strategy. We're going to start unit 8. Okay, types of business level strategy. There are lot of there are look at the types of business strategy. Okay, the first one is cost leadership strategy. The next one is differentiation strategy. The third one is integrated cost leadership differentiation strategy. The next one is implementing functional strategies, and then the marketing strategies. Okay, these are the few strategies. Now, what is a cost level strategy? Look, before a company can achieve a competitive advantage by following a cost leadership strategy, its operations must operate at optimal efficiency. In most cases, this means standardized products are produced at a low per unit cost. This means that successful competition companies are large relative to their competitors because it requires access to resources that may not be available to the competitors. A primary objective is to achieve economies of scale. Therefore, efficient product capacities are increased incrementally, and market share goals are important if market demand increases with the prices concessions. Okay, and this is the meaning of this. This means that the successful companies are large relative to their competitors because it requires access to resources that may not be available to competitors. Okay. The next one is differentiation strategy. Companies offering products that are considered unique by customers usually are following a differentiation strategies. A differentiation strategy require that people learn to coordinate and integrate activities to get into a consensus style decision making. It emphasis on marketing and manufacturing functions which need quick response based on ambiguous and incomplete data. This calls for a relatively flat organization and flexible and less structured jobs. Okay. Then comes to the next is that is integrated cost leadership differentiation strategy. Some companies may attempt to some company may attempt to simultaneously implement both the low cost leadership and differentiation strategies by providing value to low cost relative to a differentiated company's product and or differentiated features relative to features offered by the cost leadership company's products. Okay, then comes to the next, that is implementing functional strategies. What we will do, each functional unit of the organizations has a strategy for achieving its own mission and for helping the organization reach its overall vision. Functional strategies are the goal indicate directed directions and actions of the organizations are various functional units that are designed for the short term, that is less than 1 year. Now, what are the marketing strategies? This strategy is very much important. Now, look at what are the major categories of decisions linked to marketing strategy, which are as follows. Number one, marketing intelligence corresponding to the effort conducted by the firm to decipher competitors standing and to anticipate their futures move. Important issues are product introductions, marketing approaches, changes in the segmentation practices, price policies, product liabilities, new distribution channels, and improved services approaches. Defining and analyzing markets for generating inputs to guide the product positioning of the firm through an appropriate market segmentation and a finer definition of a product market segment so as to capture the different preferences and needs of customers. In each of those segments, an analysis of the behavior of consumers and organized buyers is conducted as well as for overall strategies. For situations. Product strategy, including decisions on product offering, breadth of product lines, mix, building target, markets, establishing strategic objectives for the products, market share, profit contribution, and selecting a branding strategies. Okay, new product development वो इंग्लिश तो पूछे थे ना, सुनो न्यू प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट एंड इंट्रोडक्शंस मेनली new product developments and introductions mainly ideas generations, screening and evaluation of ideas, business analysis, development of prototype and testing, formulations of a market approaches, market testing and in pilot regions, then adjustment of administrative and support system and new products introductions. Distribution strategy involving selections of a distribution channels where direct or via retailer, wholesales or agents. Design and management of the physical distribution system, including customer services, demand forecasting, inventory control, materials handling, order processing parts and service support, warehousing and storage, procurement, packaging, return goods handling, and traffic and transportation, and push versus pull model mode of operation for of the distribution and sales system. Price strategy considering the product competitive position, its product mix, brand strategy, product quality and features, and distribution, advertising, and sales force strategies. Then comes to the next is promotion and advertising strategies based on advertising, presentation and promotion of ideas, goods or services by an identified sponsor, personal selling, sales promotions and product publicity. Marketing organizations and managerial infrastructure, considering the development of an organizational structure, planning, control, and information systems and rewards and incentive systems in accordance with the culture of the firm and the marketing strategy. Then next, one of the another important strategy, that is financial strategy. Look, as we are going through the basic strategies which are very much important, that is the marketing strategy, and another one financial strategies. Lot of questions will going to cover this particular areas. Okay, that is financial strategy and marketing strategies. That is why I am going to read out those points, as because points are very much here. No needed to make you understand on another way. So okay, and still, after going through this, if you find any difficulties, or whether any particular lines which you couldn't understand, you just ask me. I'm there to help you. Okay. Now look at the financial strategies. Financial intelligence oriented at understanding the current characteristics and future trends of financial and capital markets around the world, such as the enormous array of financial opportunities, changes in legislation, fluctuations of exchange rates, and the alternative options for risk management through financial transactions. Then the next one is capital budgeting, mainly criteria for deciding on the goodness of investments, request for capital appropriations by type of investment, and the budget for total capital expenditures. Okay, mergers, acquisitions, and disinvestments, including identifications and evaluations of opportunities, ownership alternatives, joint ventures, international expansions, and in general guidance for adding these issues with a corporate perspective. Now, the next one is equality management and dividend policy integrating. That is, retained earnings as a source of financing, share repurchasing, new equity issues, stock splits, and policies concerning dividends and bonuses. Now, long-term debt financing, which is central for determining the capital structure of the firm and the debt rating, and is mainly geared at opening new sources of long-term debt, establishing the most convenient debt terms, and managing the debt portfolio. Working capital management, dealing with all decisions linked to the shortened financing of the firm, basically cash management, credit management, and inventory management. Pension fund management, encompassing all decisions pertaining to the management of funds contributed by the firm and its employees for retirement purposes. Then the next one is human resource management strategies. Human resource management strategies. The major categories of decisions linked to the human resource management strategy are as follows: human resource management intelligence, oriented at understanding the practices of the management prevailing in human resources market and the expected changes in them. Important issues are reward structure, level of composition, compensations for different positionings and job, alternatives for training and capacities development, changes in legislation related to human resources management, trends in uni organizational external forces of attractions of key specialists, obsolescence of skills in lower level personals, and retaining practices. Now, selection, promotion, and placement for managing the flow of people in, through, and out of the organizations, and matching available human resources to jobs in the organization. Then appraisal for evaluating the performance of people with the organization, thus enabling the proper allocation of rewards, the design of effective management, development programs, the maintenance of current inventory of talent, and the proper promotion and placement of personnel. The next one is rewards, providing compensation in different form such as monetary, promotions, management praise, career opportunities, appreciation for customers, personal sense of well-being, opportunities to learn, security, responsibility, respect, and friendship with co-workers. The next one is management development, creating mechanisms to enhance skills, promotional opportunities, and career path. Labor employees relations aimed at establishing a cooperative climate between managers and employee. Then the next one is procurement strategies. The major categories of decisions linked to procurement strategies are given below. Number one, procurement intelligence geared at understanding the common practices prevailing in market that are factors of production for the firm and trying to anticipate transformations that may affect the performance of procurement function. Important issues are alternative sources of supply from around the world, legislative changes, cartelizations of supplies, general health and competitive standing of key suppliers, technological changes that may affect procurement, distribution patterns, and material management practices and innovations. Selections, evaluations, and development of suppliers for finding, selecting, evaluating, developing, administrating, and motivating suppliers able and willing to provide consistent quality service and competitive prices, maintaining a healthy relationship with suppliers, subcontracting, buying inside the companies, and make versus buy decisions. Quality management of purchased goods, which include defining the proper quality specifications of the procured goods, inspections of the purchased items to ensure conformations with the stated specifications, and even establishing a quality control process at the supplier's plant. The next one is material management of purchased goods, dealing with the flow of all of the purchased goods into or the organizations, mainly materials, planning and control, order processing, incoming traffic, inventory control, receiving in plant materials movements, and scraps and surplus disposal. Value analysis, price, cost analysis, and standardizations to confront with the ample information that the difficult trade offs among prices, quality, design, manufacturability, standardizations, and cost. Value analysis is a systematic effort directed at analyzing the functional requirements for achieving the lowest attainable cost, consistent with the needed performance, reliability, quality, and maintainability of a product. Then the next one is, what is manufacturing strategies? The next strategy is manufacturing strategies. What is the meaning of this? The major categories of decisions linked to manufacturing strategies are as follows. Manufacturing intelligence to observe the practices and trends of manufacturing in the industry, such as changes in competitors, facilitate technological development in the process technologies, new raw materials or components, standardizations, capital investment practices, and environmental legislations. Facilitates mainly the number of plants, their sites, and locations, and most importantly, how specialized or focused facilities are and the degree of flexibility they process. Okay. The next one is technological strategies. The major categories of decisions linked to technological strategies are given below. Technological intelligence basically oriented at gathering information concerning the current and future state of technological development, identifying the strategic technologies used by the company, evaluating the technological strength in comparisons to key competitive firm, and detecting the locus of innovation by key product area users, manufacturers, suppliers, and others. Selection of technologies in which the firm will concentrate its efforts to innovate in process and products in each stage of the business cycle. The next one is timing of the new technology in introductions, mainly decisions as to whether to lead or to lag competitors in process and product innovations, identifying the benefits and risk associated with the leadership and followed strategy, and assuring the congruency of the selected technology strategy with the business strategies of the firm. Modes of technology acquisitions by relying on its own internal efforts or resorting to external sources. Options available are internal development, acquisitions, licensing, internal ventures, joint ventures or alliances, venture capital, and educational acquisitions. Technological horizons strategy, identifying and exploiting technological interrelationships that exist across distinct but related businesses to enhance the competitive advantage of the firm through common product technologies, common process technologies, common technologies in other value added activities, one product incorporated with another and interfere among the products. Now, project selections, evaluation, resource allocations, and control, including criteria for resource allocation, project oriented resource versus loosely controlled funds to support and plan projects, the degree of fluctuations in technology production funding, and their magnitude in the profit gap to be filled by new products. The next one is research and development strategies. What is the research and development strategies? An organization's research and development strategy should reflect its philosophy about innovation. A summary of possible research and development strategies is given below. Decisions about research and development emphasis strategies involve basic scientific research, product development, or process development. Research and development timing strategies involve decisions about being a first mover or a follower, Product and process development strategies involve decisions about who and how. Current research and development strategies being used by organizations include employee suggestions system and organizational culture that encourage innovation and risk taking. What is the role of the budget? The next one is the role of the budget. What is the role of the budget? Now, the budget can be defined as a financial plan showing how the company will acquire the resources and use them in operations during a specific time uh, period, usually 1 year. A budget takes the form of a pro forma set of financial statement and supporting schedules. Pro forma means that figures are expected amount as opposed to actual historical amount. The budget is typically complied on a monthly basis. Budgets are explained by detailed descriptions of what managers expected to do short run. Now, the next one is help enforce planning. The most important advantage of budgeting is, of course, that it forces managers to plan ahead. As a result of corporate restructuring in the strategy making, in strategy making in all criteria which make the strategies to be are. There is no such as good there is no such as good which can be identified in a single varied proportions or can be dual with aggregations which is not been created in a certain physical way. Now, this thing can be renewed whether it should be concluded by the organizational efforts or not. Now, being creating the strategy, we need to first of all understand what is the strategic plannings which we need to create in the others way. The next one is strategic audit. What is strategic audit? Let us understand strategic audit. The strategic audit provides a checklist of questions by areas or issues that enables a systematic analysis of various corporate functions and activities to be made. It is a type of management audit and it is extremely useful as a diagnostic tool to pinpoint cooperative problem areas and to highlight organizational strengths and weakness. The strategic problem audit can help determine why a certain area is creating problems for our corporations and help generate solutions to the problems. Now, the next one is the next one we can do what is the current situation or current performance. Okay, now look at the question answer. This far is completed. Look at the current performer. Look at the questions now. How did the corporation perform the past year overall in terms of return on investment, market share, and profitability? Strategic postures. What are the corporation's current mission, objectives, strategies, and policies? Are they clearly stated or are they merely implied for performance? Mission, what businesses in the corporation in and why? The next one is corporate governance. What are the corporate governance? That is the board of directors. Who are they? Look at the question answer that has been given over here. Who are they? Are they internal or external? Do they own significant shares of stock? Okay, is the stock privately held by or publicly traded? And are there different classes with different voting rights? Why do they contribute? Why do they contribute to the corporations in term of religious, which concern with the productivity and availability of the terms? Okay. Now, what is the top management? There is also a separate question given for top management. What persons or group constitute top management? Next question, support the top management chief characteristics include knowledge, skill, background, and style. If the corporations, hmm, if the corporation has internal operations, does the top management have international experience? Are executives from what you can say acquired companies considered part of the top management? So these are the related management questions, which is very much important. Okay, then there is separate question for societal environments. Okay, then there is a separate question for task environment. Okay, so everything is there. You need to just go through the chapter, go through the lines, line wise, understand the tasks, test, or what you can say, understand the tasks properly, and you can deliberately going to answer this question answer. Okay, lot of questions are there, and you need to answer them, prepare the answers as because the areas which we're going to cover basically in these areas. What is human resource management? What is the work of human resource management? What trend emerging from this analysis? Does human resource management provide the company with a competitive advantage? These are all the questions which are very much helpful. And basically, these questions are all subjective questions, and you can also say these questions are essay type questions. Okay, so you need to do this. Lot of questions. Here about 50 plus questions answer are there. 50 plus questions are there. 50 plus questions are there. The next is okay. Op- Operational strategy. The next one is operational strategy. Unit 9, that is operational strategy. Okay, the introduction. The operational functions play a very important role in implementing strategy. It establishes the level of quality as a product in manufactured or as a service is offered. For example, the decisions whether to stress high quality regardless of cost, lowest possible cost regardless of quality, or some combinations of two has numerous important implications. A highest possible quality strategy dictates state of the technology and strict adherence to the design and material requirements. A combination strategy may require lower grade technology and less concern among product designs and materials specification. If the firm decisions to upgrade the quality of its product but lacks production capacities and does not have the resources to replace its technology, it becomes difficult to reach the new standards. Therefore, just as strategy affect the operations management, so too does operations management affect strategy. Now, operations decision must always be consistent with the corporate strategy so that the full potential of operations resources can be harnessed in pursuit of the company's goal. The next one is formulating operation strategy. In order to carry out operational strategy successfully, it is necessary to design and implement well-conceived operating systems. The primary operating systems that are used in operation management are discussed. Now, what are the number one is quality, number two is product service mix, number three is facilitates, number three is key design issues, number four is productivity, number five is capacity, number six is technology. Now, the product service mix, what is to produce? Okay, initially, every firm should decide about the product service mix, how many and what kinds to offer, keeping the following objectives in mind. Now, what is productivity? It is the degree to which a product or service can actually be manufactured for the customer within the firm's operational capacity. Cost efficiency, it is the sum total of all materials, labor, and overhead expenses associated with a product or services. Striving for simplicity and few parts keep product and service designs within the responsible limit. A company that stresses cost efficiency will keep its operating cost low relative to those of other similar companies. Now, quality. It is the excellence of the product or service, the serviceability and value that customers gain by purchasing the product. A company that stresses quality will consistently provide a level of quality. अभी क्या करूं मैम, कभी बीच बीच में ऐसा हो रहा है इसलिए मैं घूम घूम के पढ़ा रहा हूं. That is significantly superior to अभी भी ब्रेक हो रहा है क्या? Superior to that is of competitors, even if it has in fact to pay something extra to do so. The next one is reliability. It is the degree to which the customer can count on the product or service to fulfill its intended function. The product should work as designed for a reasonable length of time. Flexibility. It is the degree to which a company can respond to changes in product design, product mix, or product volume. Then the next one is capacity planning, how many to produce. Capacity planning is the process of forecasting demand and then deciding what resources will be required to meet that demand. Now, demand forecasting is the process of estimating the future demand that can be expected for the organization's various offerings under an array of different market conditions. According to McLean and Thomas, capacity planning involves the following sequential steps. Number one, that is predict future demands and competitive reactions. Number two, translate above estimate into capacity needs. The company must estimate customer reactions to the products offered by it and also take care of potential counter moves by competitors. Translate above estimate into capacity need. Based on forecast, management must decide the amount of each offering that can be manufactured, keeping input limitations such as plant, equipment, human resources, etc. in mind. Then the next one is creating alternative capacity plan. Depending on what the market might absorb and what the organization can produce, management should come out with an alternate capacity plan for various product services that are offered to customers. Evaluate each alternative. As the firm adds to the variety of its offering or volumes, costs tend to go up. Such additional costs should be carefully evaluated in terms of expected payoff, identifying the opportunities and threats associated with each choice. Select and execute a practical particular capacity plan. The capacity plan that best serves corporate objectives and strategies should be picked up and implemented. Technology and facilities planning. How to procedure. Process selections and facilitated planning, which determine how the product or services will be produced, involve several important decisions. Major technological choice. The operations manager at this stage should pay attention to questions such as, does technology exist to produce the products? Are there competing technologies among which to choose? Should the company import technology through collaborations and joint ventures or to develop indigenously, etc.? Process planning. Here, the operation managers is concerned with evaluating transformation process for cost and for consistency with desired product and capacity plan. Basically, There are two options available: repetitive processing and batch processing. Repetitive processing moves the flow of material through a continuous transformational process. Batch processing calls for work to be done on materials in batches or separate order. Once the basic transformational process is identified, the decision then shifts to the physical arrangements to be made within the process. Then the next one is facilitated location planning. This deals with the selections of the preferred location for a productions or service facility. Every firm has its own criteria for choosing a particular site for locating new facilities. Now, in addition to cost considerations being evaluated, including the supply of skilled labors, access to raw materials and suppliers, access to transportations and communication system, governmental incentive, etc. Facility layout planning. It establishes the manner in which workspace is to be arranged for each operations. For virtually any type of operation, management must determine the most effective way to lay out the physical facilities. Among the traditional approaches are product layout, process layouts, and fixed position layout. A product layout is one in which the components are arranged according to the progressive steps by which the product is made. Conceptually, the flow is an unbroken line from raw material input to finished good. This type of layout is exemplified in automobile assembly, food processing, and furniture manufacture. A process layout or functional layout is one in which the components are grouped according to the general function they perform without regard to any particular product. Custom job shops, department stores, and hospitals are generally arranged in this manner. A fixed position layout is one in which the product, by virtue of its bulk and weight, remains at one location. The equipment required for product manufacture are moved to the product rather than vice versa. Sound stage on a movie set, aircraft assembly, shop and shipyards typify this mode of layout. Then the next one is purchasing management. Purchasing management is concerned with buying the materials and resources needed to create products and services. The purchasing managers often has to perform a tip rope a tip rope walk while taking purchasing decisions. Buying too much looks up the capital and increases storage cost. Buying too little might lead to the shortage and high ordering cost. While buying materials and supplies, the purchasing manager must also make sure that the quality of what is purchased meet the firm requirements, that is that the supplier is reliable and that the best financial terms are negotiated. Inventory management. It deals with the proper management of the organization inventory comprising of raw material, work in process, financial goods, and in transit goods. What is TQM? TQM tools and technique. Manager can use several tools and technique for improving quality. Some of the important techniques are discussed below: benchmarking, outsourcing, quality circle, statistical quality control. It is the process of learning how the other firm, the toughest competitors or those recognized as industry leader, do exceptionally high quality things. The key to successful benchmarking lies in analysis, starting with its own mission statement. A company should look into the current procedures and mark areas for improvement. Then the company should carefully pick up competitors worth of copying. that is benchmarking. Okay, simply it is nothing but learning process how the firm compete with the other firm or other industry. Okay, then outsourcing. What is outsourcing? It is the process of self-contracting services and operations to other firms that can do them cheaper or better by farming out activities in which they do have expertise, such as human resource or inventory management. Firm can cut down cost on employee benefit and free existing personnel for other duties. The next one is quality circle. A quality circle is a small group of employees who meet periodically to solve quality problems related to their jobs. Okay, the reason for purchasing quality circle is to push decisions making to an organizational level at which the people who do the job and know it can make recommendations better than anyone else. Statistical quality control. Managers traditionally use inspections to control product quality. Inspection is simply examining and grading finished products, components, or product at any stage of productions. The purpose of inspection is to discard product or component that do not meet established quality standards. Now, managers must generally determine not only what product or product component to inspect, but also how many units or component to inspect. One way of addressing this question is called statistical quality control, SQC. SQC is a process used to determine how many units of product should be inspected to calculate a probability that the total number of units meet organizational quality standard. Although managers limit inspections cost by not examining all units, they must take care to see that the number of units inspected given an accurate measurement of the quality of the product being manufactured. Okay, so this is called standard quality control. Okay, it is simply used to inspect or to control the productions or the quality. Now it is simply examining and grading the finished product. What is the work of statistical quality control? Simply examining and grading the finished products with the goods which are in finished complete process, which is when any goods when the process is being completed, that goods is being examined and grading. Okay, they give a grade that is good quality, grade A, grade B, grade C. Okay, now, the managers must generally determine not only what products or product component to inspect, but also how many units or component to inspect it. One way of addressing this question is called statistical quality control, that is SQC. Always remember the full form, this acronyms. Okay, that is SQC, statistical quality control. SQC, what is SQC? Statistical quality control. It is simply a process used to determine how many units of product should be inspected to calculate a probability that the total numbers of unit meets organizational quality standard. Although managers limit inspects cost by not examining all units, they must take care to see that the number of units inspected gives an accurate measurement of the quality of the product being manufactured. Okay, so this is the definition of SQC, that is standard quality control. Standard quality control. Okay, now these are the keywords, functional plan, review. Okay. Hmm. Come to the next unit, that is the unit 10. Unit 10, that is financial strategy. What is financial strategy? Now, financial policies and the strategies of an organization are concerned with the rising and utilization of funds. The basic purpose is to ensure adequate and regular supply of capital of the organization. Keeping the present and future requirement of business in mind, capital of course should not only be adequate but should also be judiciously employed. As Hoagland has rightly stated, wasteful use of capital is as bad as inadequate capital. Hence, while estimating fixed and working capital requirement, the types of securities is to be issued, the sources to be exploited, financial managers should bear in view of the proper use of funds. Now, procurement of fund. Finance is required in order to maintain an adequate cash flow to keep the business operating and also for development. For the latter, the right amount is required at the right time and the right cost. So the first question here is about deciding the capital structure of a company, which refer to the kind of proportions of different securities for raising long-term finance. It involved decision regarding the form of capitalizations, the sum total of all long-term securities issued by a company, equity as well as debt, and the surplus not meant for distribution. It deals with some ticklish questions as what is the total capital required, what should be the mix equity, that is owners capital and debt in total capital. Generally speaking, there should be a healthy mix of equity and debt in company's capital structure in order to maximize return to its owners. At the same time, it should be neither be overcapitalized nor undercapitalized. Okay, look at the picture, that is 10.1, that is fund management, how the fund is being managed. That is, there are the two ways or the fund can be managed, that is procurement of fund, utilization of fund. There are the two ways. Okay, financial strategies and policies, if any management wants to do or wants to prepare any financial strategies and policies, they need to basically they need to utilize this fund in two ways. That is, the number one is, that is the procurement of funds, and number two is utilization of funds. Procurement of funds include how much funds, from where the fund will allocate, and what price and when the fund will going to be allocated. Now, utilization of funds, capital expenditure, current operating needs, surplus funds. Okay. Now, utilization of fund, the amount raised through various sources at the right cost at the right time should be put to good use. A proper balance should be maintained while investing the fixed asset and current asset. Okay, fixed asset involve investment of funds in land and buildings, plant and machinery, furniture and fitting, office equipment, etc. over a fairly long period of time. Working capital may be expressed in two ways. That is, number one is gross working capital, and number two is current liabilities. Okay. Now, the network capital position of a company is as important as that is of gross capital. Okay. Why? Because it will going to decide the firm's profitability and liquidity. Now, liquidity, what is the meaning of liquidity? Liquidity here means the ability to settle bills on time. Okay. With which is possible only when you have sufficient cash. Okay, now sufficient cash. The current asset should be deployed properly to improve overall profitability, which is possible only when you do not keep your current asset like cash idle. While striking a fine balance between the apparently conflicting objectives, the finance manager has to take a number of factors in account, such as the business steel firm need working capital, seasonal businesses, and firm require large dozen or imported Raw materials also need more working capital. Now, the working of production cycle, proper physical layout, term and conditions set by suppliers of materials and buyer of production, etc. Every company should, in the final analysis, try to reduce the operating cycle in minimum in order to manage funds, in order to manage fund, okay, efficiently, and effectively. Now, the operating cycle refers to the time taken for the conversions of cash into the raw material. Now, raw material into the work in process into a finished good into receivable, and receivable into cash. Now, what is the comparison between own and lease options? Own asset, point of distinctions, lease asset. Okay. Now, own asset, heavy amounts needed, funds looked up, limited flexibility, not significantly. Owners must absorb the repair cost. Owners must face the music if rate to change. The technology is very high. Interest on loans, depreciation, repairs, maintenance, and available. Point of distinctions, that is initial outlay, opportunity cost, recurring expenditure, repairs, obsolescence risk, tax benefit. What is the leased asset? Not required, which is not been required. Fund can be put down to other uses, very high due to the annual rentals. Generally, not the responsibility of the leaseholder. Rise is maximum as asset as leased for the shorter period. Annual lease will rent mm, allowed. Okay, so this far I have completed. Now the next one is financial ratio analysis. What are the financial analysis ratio? That is liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, activity ratios, and profitability ratio. There are the five ways of ratios are there. One, two, three. No, sorry, four ratios are there. That is liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, activity ratios, and profitability ratios. Yes, 160 पेज तक हो गया है मैम. ठीक है. आप ठीक ठीक ओके मैम.